Hello, good evening. It's Wednesday, so we're going to have a bit of a play. Just realised, look at the state of that. Oof. There you go, that's better, isn't it? A bit more presentable. Yeah, so we're going to have a bit of a play. I've literally got a poly plate, a flower stamp, and a saying, and that's it. That is what we're going to use tonight. I thought tonight we would keep it a little bit simple, do a really easy technique on our poly plates, and well, that's it. Because I have been working on next week's video for whilst I'm away. I know, I'm being naughty on my jolly bobs again. And so I've been working on that, and that's really, it's just there. I'm not going to show you it because it's really good fun, but it's taking a while to do because it's quite bitty. So yeah, can't wait to show that next week. Evening Tracy, evening Noala. So yeah, poly plates, flower, and that's it. Should we get going? I think so. Let me move this over. Oops. My mouse wasn't where I thought it was going to be. You're going to see all sorts then. There we go. Right. So I have got, it's a cut down for a 7-inch. So I think it's about 6.5-inch square to go on my 7-inch card. And I'll show you my stamps that I've pulled out first. I've got this one, which is what I'm using on my project next week. So you're going to see this one again next week. I have got the mini rectangle, and I've got the You're an Awesome Friend one that I was using on Monday night as well, just because it was on my desk and easy to grab. And then I have also got fluff on my card. There you go, let's move that out of the way before I do something silly. And then I thought we'd do a quick ombre. Yeah. So I have got picked raspberry, a bit of wilted violet, and seedless preserves would help if they were all the right way. So we're going to do an ombre, but I want to do it over a couple of my poly plates, and I couldn't resist putting the little bear waving up there. I mean, you can't have a bear and me not use it. So they're my colours for my ombre that we're going to use, and this is my poly plate. Now mine's got a bit of a sheen to it, so I'm just going to give it a quick wash because it looks like it's been well, it's been standing for a very long time, not being used and not on its carrier sheet. So give it a quick wipe, quick wash. Just make sure I've got all the grime off it, which I seem to have. There we go. Right, nice and clean this time. So what I thought I would do is I'm going to wet desk. Spritz everywhere, me. When I get going with my spritzer, it goes everywhere. I'm going to do one at the top, then I'm going to do one at the bottom, and then we're going to pop our flower on. Yep, you see where we're going with this, can't you? Then a bit of a sentiment. So I'm going to use my ombre over my 2 poly plates. So where normally I'd do like my 3 colours on one plate, I'm not going to do 2 on each to create my ombre. So, oh, decisions. I'm going to start with pale at the bottom, I think. I'm going to start with my picked raspberry. So picked raspberry, oh no it's not, yes it is. Picked raspberry is my palest colour, yeah. So I'm going to go all over with that. I'm using Distress inks tonight because I love how Distress inks all mix and merge together. You get some amazing effects from them. Evening Mum. Oh, there you go, perfect. We've had a sunset. I didn't see that actually, but must have inspired me unknowingly. So I've got my pink, and I need my wilted violet because that's my next one. And I'm going to do, normally I'd work in thirds, yep. So I'm still going to work in my thirds, my top third. I'm just going to add a little bit of wilted violet. And I don't want a straight line, because that just looks pants. I'm going to say it, it does, it looks pants. So can you see I've got a bit of a going on. And then I'm just going to spritz it. So do you remember on Sunday, it's all about the archery arms. And then look at those bubbles. Yep. And then because I want to be neat and tidy tonight, I know you're all just sat there laughing now, I'm just going to tidy up my poly plate around the edge, because all this water that's around the edge could potentially end up on my card, and we don't want that, do we? No. I'm going to do my best not to have inky pinkies. I know, shocker. Just going to do that. So pink at the bottom, I'm going to flip it over, and then we're just going to drop it down here. So I've not put it anywhere near level on my block, so it all looks skew squiff at the moment. Yep. So key one, whether you're doing 2 colours or 1 colour on here, pick it up towards your darkest one. So for me, that's that purple. So just lift it up. This is where it'd be a lot easier if I'd put it straight on my block. But why would I make life easy, hey? I'm going to take that off. I did put a little bit too much water on there, but it's worked. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this colour out here. Pick it up with my tissue. There we go. So that's that one. I'm going to turn it around because it's just easier to stamp. I'm going to put that back down there. And I'm going to start off with my wilted violet because it is my palest again. I'm going to go all over, just like that. And then I'm going to pick my Seedless Preserve up. And we're just going to come across the bottom again. Well, actually, I want to go about 2/3 up with this one. So I'm just going to keep going. Looks like a load of pyramids at the moment. It won't do. So there you go. So when we flip this over, I'm not going to stamp it yet. Can you see I've got my wilted violet, and then I've got my Seedless Preserve across the bottom. Little pyramids. Anyway, let's get spritz in this one. So again, archery arms until it just starts to move. Yeah, it's not running, it's just started to move. And then we're just going to go around the edge. There's 1, 2. Again, I'm just tidying up as I go because I am doing my best tonight not to have inky pinkies everywhere. Which is really tough for me, I've got to admit. That's why I end up splattering so much. You know, my cards generally have a splatter on them, and it's not because I think it's artistic or anything like that. It's generally to hide inky pinkiness. I'm going to turn that over. Make sure I've got my 2 wilted violets together. And then I'm just going to splat this onto my card about there. You can see that bit just didn't want to go, so I've just encouraged it with my finger. And I'm going to lift this one up again very gently. There we go. Lifting all the time. Thank you. I've been a bit over the top with my inking tonight, but that's okay. To be fair, I quite like my sunset that way now. I'm just taking out a bit of this extra water I've got down here. I've been a bit of a naughty girl. There we go. Right. And then we're just... Oh! I'm going to put that in the bin before I do something else with it. You know I was going to end up with that on top of something else. I'm just going to give this a quick dry with my heat gun. You can see those lovely, lovely colours. So we've got picked raspberry, wilted violet, and then we've got our lovely deep Seedless Preserve at the bottom. Evening, Maxine. There we go. Got a bit of banana action going on. I'm going to turn it over. And I do love the colours you get when you're using distress inks. They all just mix and merge beautifully. Right, there we go. So, I'm not going to decide yet, but I need to decide, are we having pink at the top? Or are we having our purple at the top? Quite like it that way. But then that's going to mess up my sentiment, so it's going to have to go that way, I think. So if we have it that way, does my sentiment fit that way? I'm faffing now. I think we're going to go that way. We will see. Anyway, that's a few steps down the line, isn't it? What I'm going to do is I just want to tidy up my edges a bit because I over spritzed. I got a bit spritz happy. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my Seedless Preserve, so my darkest one again. I'm just going to very gently just tap along the edge because I just want to give it a bit of a frame, that's all. Nothing too much. Spin it around, keep going. Oops, there we go. So there's that one. I'm just going to pop it back on top. So I'm just going to line it up best I can. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. It just gives it a nice little frame. Oh, come on. Be gentle. There we go. Didn't want to let go that time. I'm going to do exactly the same again on this one. So just around the edge. Ooh, I've gone a bit heavy handed on this one. So I've gone a bit heavy handed. I'm going to put that at the top. At this end. Yep. And because I know I'm putting Seedless Preserve on top of Seedless Preserve, but because one of them's been watered down, because obviously we put it on our spritzer, our polyplate, and spritzed it, and then this one we're just using the pure ink on, it will still show up. Come on. Thank you. So you can see all the way around, just got that lovely little frame going on. And all I'm going to do before I forget, I'm just going to clean up my polyplate, because there's nothing worse than picking up your polyplate next time round and you forgot to take your ink off. And for some reason you'll be stamping and you can guarantee it'll be the complete opposite of the colour you're using. Okay, just make sure it's all off. Right, so that's that bit done. And I love polyplates because they do create such a nice little background. Didn't get it very central, did I? Very equal. Anyway, flower. I'm going to do it that way. Because if I put my flower here, we can put our little sentiment down there, like so. Yep. So let's take that one off. And we're going to grab our black ink. Oops. Got stamps all over. And I've got bits of red tape everywhere as well. Oh no, that's not black. That's grey. Good job I did look. Evening, Barbara. Oh, I love my distress inks. These ones are inks we're using tonight, not oxides. You can do it with oxides, but what you'd have to do is put your colour on, so one colour at a time. I'll tell you what, before I do that, just to prove it, you can do it with your oxides. Let me just grab a little bit of the paper. There we go. It's a card actually, this one, so let's see if we might even make a second card tonight, you never know. Let me grab two little colours. So I've got my wilted violet, then we can find picked raspberry. I couldn't find that the other day though, could I, for some reason? It will be somewhere. I'll be hiding. I'll tell you what I forgot, wilted violet. Let's have a bit of tumbled glass or peacock feathers. Let me go for a bit of. Nope. There. I can guarantee it's the furthest one away from you, can't you? Right, I'm going to actually grab a bit of peacock feathers as well. Yeah, that should look alright. So what I'm going to do with this one, yeah, it's the right way around. I'm going to still go for my palest one, so that'll be my peacock feathers. Yep. And I'm just going to ink up half of it. You can tell it's oxide straight away because it goes on and it's so much more Well, it's not see-through. I can never remember the right word. Yep, there's that one. And then for your second colour, whereas with inks, as long as you go paler to darker, you are fine. Oxides, nope. We need to be careful with our oxides. Oh, I'm down to my last piece. Opaque. I thought it was the right one, but it never sounds right. Opaque to me seems see-through, but that's translucent, isn't it? You can see why I was never very good at science. So I could be clever here and save myself some work and come in a little bit, yeah, like that. So I'm nowhere near. Yep, and then we'll pick up our ink and then just start blending it down. So you can see I've got blue on there already, so I'm moving to a different part of my tissue. Again, just pick it up. I'm going to actually turn my tissue over because I can see lots and lots of blue. So one last bit, I'm just going to go back over, just like that. And then we've got our two colours on there. Yep. I'm going to throw that in the bin because... See, I'm not the only one. Tracy agrees with me. Opaque to me sounds like you can see through them. And I've just spritzed it very gently. Again, you want it archery arms distance away. And we're just going to pop that on there. I could have stamped it without... So I'm just encouraging that bit there. I didn't want to quite go, so I'm just encouraging it. Just like that. And then this one, I'm just going to pick it up to one end because oxides don't tend to move as much. So there you go. So there's your oxide version. So you can still do it. It's just not going to blend quite as much as it would if you were using your distress inks. Yeah. I hope that helps. You know what I think it is, Tracy? You're talking about... I always think when I think about opaque, it's what they used to describe types, isn't it? Yeah, you're all now going, where's she going with this one? Yeah, I know. Yeah, but you can always see through types. No matter what people say, you can always see through types. Yeah, they're definitely not opaque. One day I'll remember which was which. Anyway, so that was our oxide. I'm going to come back to this one. And I'm gonna see, Tracy agrees. Great minds, isn't it, Tracy? So I'm gonna come back to this one. I'm gonna need a bit of scrappage as well. There we go. I think that one will work. I'm just gonna ink this one up. Just give it a bit. I will admit my stamping block is probably on the small side for this stamp. There isn't, well, it's hanging over at one end, but it's fine. I just know to be careful. Yeah. So I would recommend a slightly larger stamping block if you were going to stamp your stamp. You just have to be careful. See here where it's hanging off and it's got all that lovely black ink on it. You just need to be careful you don't pop it onto your card, otherwise you do end up with inky pinkies, don't you? And I know, Debbie, the more opaque they are, the less you can see through them. But yeah, it still doesn't make sense in my brain. I know there's logic there, it just doesn't fit with my brain. I know, random things. Right, so I should have stamped that. I did dry that, didn't I, before? Can't remember. We'll see. There you go. So we've got our lovely Have Faith flower. And I'm going to stamp another one of them. Because I want to... I'm going to colour it in and cut it out, basically. There we go. So I'm just going to give it another quick stamp. You can tell I don't wear tights very often, can't you? In fact, I think school was the last time I wore tights. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? No, I'm more of a trousers kind of girl. Or actually, no, I like me 3/4 length ones because I'm quite short. So trousers end up dragging on the floor. And if I wear crops, they're a little bit longer. They don't make it to the floor, but you know what I mean. Right. I keep digging holes tonight, don't I? Apologies. Must be a Wednesday night thing. Right, let's get this dry. That one. I know we're not going to be colouring on this one, but I'm still going to make sure it's dried off. Versafine Clear does tend to stay a bit wet a bit longer. Yeah. So if you're used to using Versafine, you'll find it dries quite quick. Whereas Versafine Clear, yeah, it does take a long time to dry, which is great if you're embossing and things like that. But always just make sure you give it a bit of a whiz with your heat gun. Because even when you think it's dry, it's not quite. Oh, thank you, Barry. It's an oldie, this one, isn't it? I can't probably this time last year, if not before. But it is now. Right. I'm going to be big, bold and brave, and I'm going to use my pens to do this. It's colour. Something's telling me I want yellow or orange to really make it pop. And we've also got that ombre, haven't we, going on. So if I did that yellow or orange, it'd look a bit like the sun. Yep. That's my thinking. Whether it works out or not. Just realised I'm sat here talking. I'm turning around to get my pens out and I'm sat here talking to me. Probably can't hear me. Though some of you might think that's a blessing. So I'm just going to do, I'm going to really quickly colour this one in. And all I'm going to do, you see how this flower and the petals and the leaves, I've got three. They've got like 3 different lines around them. So all I'm going to do is take one of them. I'm not worrying about colouring in all the bits. I'm just going to take one. Yep, so I'm going to choose one of the lines and colour that one line in. Because I've just had a thought for the top. We'll see if it works actually. We'll experiment. I'm just picking my line that I'm colouring in and going for it. Oh, my phone always seems to get angry on we're live, doesn't it? Oh, you can hear me when I turn around. Oh, that's good to know. I just sit here talking to myself. I'm sure I must do it all day. Right, I'm going to do yellow, but I've just had a thought. Oh, boy, to do green. Silly girl. I always like to do these bits green as well, because I think it looks like the, you know, like when you've got a flower and it's got the green bud, and then it falls away to basically reveal the beautiful flowers, the beautiful colours. There we go, there's that bit, and then we're going to do the other side. There we go. There we go, right, we've got our green. Oops, there's the end of my pen. Oh no, that doesn't sound good, Noel. I hope he's feeling better. Though we've had a, well, one school's had a headachy bug going around and the other school's had a tummy bug going around, so I'm just hoping, my fingers, my toes, everything's crossed, that we can make it to the weekend without either of them coming home, because there's no way, as much as I like them, I don't want to be stuck in a caravan with them when they're poorly sick. And I know they'd be devastated not to go next week, so we've just got to make it to Friday with no, touch wood, no illnesses. They do feel a bit like last man standing kind of thing at the moment. Most of Bear's class has had it. So yeah, it does, it feels a bit like one of them's going to come down with something. There we go. So again, I'm just following one of my lines, just making it. Need to be a little bit careful because again I've used Versafine Clair, so it does react a little bit with the pens. And I think we're going to do a bit of an experimentation in a minute. I'm not sure if it'll work, but where's the fun in not trying, hey? And if it doesn't work, then, you know not to try it next time. Oh no, Ella does them as part of the flower here. It is, isn't it? It's funny, it's how you look at it, really. Could be either, could be part of the flower. Taking a bit too much of the colour out of this one. I know, naughty girl, should always keep my colour in the same way. Right, so we've done our yellow. I was thinking of doing, right, what I'm thinking of doing, I do want to put some orange in there. You are absolutely right, Amala. But we have got different petals, haven't we? So what I thought I might do is, and I don't know whether it's going to work, so we will see, is I'm going to take one of the other petals and colour it orange. I'm going to go straight up to that line there. So we've got our yellow and our orange mixing together. But I don't know if it's going to work. It's not something I've done before. So I was wondering whether you could do them all slightly different. Where is the fun in not experimenting, hey? Kind of got an idea what it'll look like in my head, but you know, sometimes what it looks like in my head and reality is nothing alike. But that seems kind of okay-ish. I've taken out a lot of the yellow, I know. I'll do the same with this one, I think. I know I go quiet, don't I, when I'm thinking. Okay. Got those little peaks of yellow underneath, isn't there? flat out orange. So where's this one's line? I think he's there. Doesn't have to be perfect, does it? I'm following a line. It might not be the right line, but I'm following a line. There we go. I'm going to do the small one here so you get a bit more yellow. Part of the fun is finding the line that I'm following. I was going to say copying, that's not the right word, is it? Following. There we go. So we've got that yellow. Not sure if it's showing quite through. So we've got our layer of yellow, and then we've got our yellow. Yeah, get your words in, Kim. We've got our layer of yellow, and then we've got our little orange bits as well. Quite cool. Right. I'm going to pop them back in my drawer. So that looks quite pretty by itself, doesn't it? And then all I'm going to do, I know, it seems brutal, I'm going to start chopping it up. And as you can tell, I'm leaving a white line around it because we have all that lovely colour behind. Yep. So we've got all this colour behind it. I've cut out a flower that didn't need it. But what it should do on the really heavily coloured areas is make it pop a little bit more, having that white border around. It's the only downside of working on really thick card, because I use 300 GSM card. When it comes to cutting out, it just doesn't, it's not very forgiving. There you go. So can you see on there, it's just making it pop out, isn't it? Giving that beautiful border. Oops. I was leaving a border. Oopsie. And you're all sat there going, oh no, she's not done the white bits before she puts it out. No, it's just dawned on me. Because you know you've got to add gel pen to your little dots just to make it pop. Buggy me that piece of card. Oops, come on girl. It's a really easy one to cut out, this one as well. And because it's got jaggedy edges, nobody notices if you don't quite get your cutting out right. Which is a good job really with my cutting out, isn't it? Oops, there we go. And I'm hoping when we come to put this on that beautiful sunset we've got, or sunrise, whichever one it is. Look at that, just jumping out. Woohoo! Love it when a plan comes together. Right, let's put that down there. We're going to grab our little white pen. And we're just going to go back over these little bits. Because it does make a difference, doesn't it? As soon as I start putting these white bits on, it really does make a difference. I'm going to add a few little bits in here. Don't know why I always do. There we go. There's lots of little dots and dashes in this one. And then I'm just going to do exactly the same on those that are outside of it. Oh, I just kept that bit on. There we go. I'm going to keep doing the background and then I'll come back to my little petals, leaves. Oh, I will remember which is which. Could even, if you wanted to, just add a couple of little white dots, because we've got such a coloured background. Just a few little white dots in here as well. Looks like the night sky now, doesn't it? Just like that. That one's that one. I could only tell because it's got a bit of the stalk on it. There we go, that one goes down to there. That's going to go on there like so. There it is. So this is the one from Monday night that we used. Oops, I'm not going to show you that because then I'm showing you the other stamps I'm using next week. Lid doesn't want to come off. There we go. I've lost all my strength. Make sure it's a nice, good ink up on there. I've got all this space here to pop this in, so you could actually. There you go. I'm gonna frame it. I'm gonna put it right in the middle. Just like that. There you go. I'm gonna bring that white pen back as well. Just going to just be careful I don't put my hands all over it. Add a few little white bits. Nothing too much. There we go. I don't even know if you can see that. And then of course I need to find a matte layer for it. I'm not going to go rooting now for it. That's going to go there. It's going to have a nice, I think, purple, obviously, ink background there. Let's just, I've got some foam pads right next to me, so it would be rude not to, wouldn't it? Yeah. Got them stuck on everything. Oops. There we go, if we kind of stick it together, and then I just need to go and find a little bit of what do you call it? A little bit of purple. There we go. And then we've got that one, our oxide one from before. Should we finish that off as well? I think we might. It'd be rude not to. It's sat there looking at me going, oh. And I've not been that long tonight. I was making up for last week when I went on for hours. I'm just going to pop that one on there. Oh, me and these foam pads, I don't know what it is, but we just don't get along. See, every time I touch them I end up with them on my fingers. I seem to get more on my fingers than I do. Look, it's all over me. It just sticks to me. Right. It does look pretty cool, doesn't it? And I am sounding surprised because it was. I'd only half thought it through. I've got a dot there I've not dotted. There we go, right. And it's also nice if you get your glossy accents out on those little dots. We know that, we like that. So that's that one. Let's grab this one back, shall we? Because this is just a card. That's nowhere near dry. When did we do that? Ages ago, wasn't it? Got that I'm going to do exactly the same. Well, yeah, we'll do it really quick. Really quick. Yep, because I don't think all of our stamp will fit on this little card because it's only a A6 one. So I'm going to grab my wilted violet because that's my darker one out of the two. There it is. Oh, can't see for looking. Let's see if I can do this super fast, shall we? Super fast. Quickly whack it around the edge just like we did before. There we go. Pop it on here. Now if I wanted it to mix and merge in, I could have given it a quick spritz. There we go. Careful, careful, careful. Thank you. Not very level, was it? Clean that up in a moment. And then let's just see. Right, it's not going to quite fit. Oh, it'll be alright. I've had closer fits before now. I'm going to turn it around that way because, again, if you want to stamp anything, make sure it's easy to stamp, it's comfortable. Because if it's not comfortable to stamp, you've got no chance, have you? Is that a real good ink up? I'm just going to go straight down the middle. Ooh, maybe just. There we go. If it had been really clever, I'd have done it down where my two colours meet. I only thought about that afterwards. Go. Let's just give it a good press. Right, let's put that one to one side. I need another piece of scrap. Let's see if it'll fit on this one. Will you fit? Will you fit? Will you hecky thumps? There we go. And we'll cheat with this one. We won't colour it in quite the same. We'll do our super fast painting. And keep it all to our oxides. And there we go. Let's give that a quick whack. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Right. Fine peel paint. And I do I want an orange. We're going to use. I was looking one way and still drying at the same time. I'm going to go with our spicy marmalade from the other way. And of course peel paint for our leaves, because when it comes to leaves there is only one colour of distress ink or oxide, and it has to be peel paint. It's like the rules. That's a lot of paint, I don't need that much. So really quickly just going to go through. Actually it's already quite wet. Nope, I need a little bit of water. And I'm going to go for that one, I think. Brush just didn't want to play ball there. So again, I'm just choosing one of my lines to go over. And go for this one this time. I would normally say be a bit careful with your oxides, because when they go over another line it's going to put that like that chalky effect over it. Just be a little bit careful when you're going over your lines. But I'm doing this for speed, I'm not doing this for preciseness. Oh, came down the wrong line there. Never mind. It be raining out there. As long as it does, all it's raining this week and not next week. Or the week after, because it's half term and there's nothing worse And having my two cooped up inside, they are proper outdoors. And if they're not in school, they've got to be outdoors. Get that green out of there. Loads in my brush. There's that one. Really quick. It is quite relaxing, isn't it, the rain on the roof? Nearly as bad as the squirrels. Yeah. I can put up with the rain, it's the squirrels. I'm sure they do it just to... They were on there again today. Unless one of my neighbours is throwing nuts up there or something. They see me wander out and it's like, oh, she's out in a shed again. Let me go and put some nuts on a roof. No, them squirrels drive her crackers. Just get a little bit of this orange on here. Can't figure out which line it is. It's that one, isn't it? There we go. So again, I'm just choosing any line and trying to keep it there or thereabouts. I'm not going to win any competitions for colouring in tonight. And then this one, I'm going to come up here. This one's the easier one to follow, isn't it? Just pop a little bit darker down here. Right, there we go. Said I'd do that super quick. So much easier, isn't it? Well, so much quicker when I'm painting. Right, there we go. Give that a quick blast of the heat gun. I've got no chance of cutting it out if it's not. I'll just end up chewing it all up, won't I? Cool. And then let's grab this bit again. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do all this bit whilst it's still. Oops. Must be really raining. I don't know if you can hear it. It's going into water, but outside. There we go. And I'm just going to do the ones that are going to come with us when we cut out. Oh, that's not coming with us. Oh, excuse me. Grumbly tumblies out again. There we go, we need that one. That one there too. Don't need that, but I need you. It's chicken and egg, isn't it? Because I've probably done some that we don't need. And some that I haven't. Right, I'm just going to give this a real quick cut out. I just need to be careful I don't grab that. Don't put my finger on the white gel pen. And obviously you might want to put some glossy accents over that as well, because it will look really pretty. What's that saying? More haste, less steam. There's that one. So again, this is going to pop exactly the same as the other one. But this one we stuck to our oxides. I just love how quick they are to paint with, aren't they? There's that one. And again, I'm doing my little border because I love that white edge, because it just helps it stand out. And it's just really simple. Just racing round. Nearly there. Nearly there. Only a few more corners to go. There we go. And you can tell it doesn't have to be, because it's got the wiggly lines. The whole design's wiggly, isn't it? So when you're cutting out, it doesn't have to be perfect, which is why it works for me, and I can cut it out so quickly. Right, so again, we're just going to grab a couple of not post-it notes, whatchamacallit, foam pads. There's that one. Again, they're all over my fingers. I'm not going to put, well, might be able to put a sentiment on if you bear with 2 minutes. Put that there, like so. We'll drop this down, just like that. And then we're going to pop one of them. One of them. And if I can quickly find this month's monthly make, it should just be here. And where are you? Where are you? I'm thinking best wishes. Oh no, I've not quite left enough room for it. Do it up the side, that could look quite interesting, couldn't it? What do you think? Let's have a go, shall we? I'm just going to pop that there. Get rid of you for now. I'm nursing my last piece of kitchen roll. I'm going to put it there and see if it works. If it doesn't, we haven't lost anything, because it was only a test piece, this, wasn't it, anyway? Pinky pinkies. I'm just going to line it up at the bottom. Pop it there. There we go. And it really looks skew-squiff now, doesn't it? The whole poly plate like that. And guess what? It's going to look even worse when I do this. I know I've actually made a card. Bear would be so proud of me because my card's got a back to it. But there you go. So this was the one that I kind of had in my head when we started. So Distress Inks, ombre using our 3 colours, but it's splitting it over 2 plates. Our beautiful Have Faith stamp. Do love this little stamp. Well, it's not little, it's quite a big one, isn't it? And then I've just used that You're an Awesome Friend on there as well. And then this one, just showing how we can do exactly the same with our oxides, just layer them. So one colour, and then apply your second using your blending tools, your tissues, anything like that. And then I coloured this one in using our oxides as well. just because it was quicker. There you go. We've done 2. I know, I only thought we'd be doing 1 tonight. That'll be quite a quick one. No, I've kept you gabbing. There we go. Right, so yeah, I'm quite pleased with those. Do love the colours in this one though. It is a great colour combo that. It was picked raspberry, wilted violet and seedless preserve. They just work so well. Such a mystical background that one, isn't it? Beautiful, beautiful colour combo that. It is one of my go-to colour combos, I've got to admit it. Especially for ombres. Right, so that is it from me. We will be back on Monday, but it'll be a video at 7. I'll be posting it up onto Facebook and onto YouTube as usual at 7, but it will be a recorded video because we are off on our jollies in the rain in the caravan. It'll be fine. And then the same next Wednesday, as long as I get it finished, because it's right there. It's right there, looking at me. As long as I get that finished, there'll be another video up on Wednesday as well. I'll probably put that up slightly earlier, so watch out for that. Monthly makes, don't forget, if you want to order your monthly make if you want to order April's monthly make, you need to do it before midnight on Friday, Saturday, last day of the month. I'm sure it's Friday, the 31st. Yeah. Because we will be sending them out, or we'll be sending some out on Friday and the rest will go out on Saturday. So yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you enjoyed that. I definitely enjoyed those. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Yeah, so there will be some videos next week, I hope, as long as I get all the editing done. I'm sure I will. And hopefully I'll get that one finished. I am enjoying this. It is very different. I can't wait to show you, actually. Even if I don't get the video done, you're still going to see that because I've taken ages to do it. Been some cutting out, been some tricky moments. But I'm having great fun making it. So I can't wait to share that with you. So anyway, thank you. I will see you on Bank Holiday Monday for the launch of April's box. Now that sounds really, really scary because we're going to be in April. Yeah, this year is just whipping by, isn't it? So yeah, the next live will be on Bank Holiday Monday. I'll let you know what time. But there will be some videos going up next week. So thank you once again for joining me. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you again very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.